Hello, everybody. I realize the everybody is kind of small. Maybe we get somebody in here to where they can tell me if you can hear me, because that would be cool. I think we're going to reposition the camera while there's not a whole bunch of. It needs to be taller, doesn't it? Hey, Steve. How's it going? Can you hear me? I've had sound issues here lately. Good deal. Well, do we want to? Chris, the Clog Podcast is here. How y'all doing? Well, I've been working for a while now to try to get some things together, but for number 600. And I've had scheduling problems. My idea was to use the interface of Spelltable to be able to do a deck tech with me and having guests, 1, 2, 3 other guests, because that Spelltable interface is amazing. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't used it to play like webcam EH, I know me and Chris have played several times. I love it. And I talked to them and they were kind of on board with the, using their interface, and I was like, sweet. So I was like, okay, so I got to get, but the problem was the people that I had were on two opposite coasts, and I'm right in the middle of the U.S. See, so scheduling somebody on the East Coast, somebody on the West Coast, and then here we just couldn't make the schedule work. So instead, I will be Thursday. Okay. Tomorrow, I will be releasing the deck tech of deck number 600. What time, I don't know. I've got some back to school things to do with my son, but tomorrow will be deck tech number 600. Now, it will look just like all the others. It will be a normal, but out of all this, what has come is over on Twitch Thursday night, you will be able to see me play deck number 600 with Sheldon Meanery and the rest of the rules committee. Yeah, it's a huge honor. I wasn't expecting it. I was talking with Sheldon, and he was one of the ones that we were trying to get the scheduling to work out, and it's just life happens. Everybody works and has time, and so we'll pursue, and I might be on other shows and whatnot, but he said, why don't you just come on and play with us? So I said, well, I know what deck I'm bringing. So that's a huge honor for me, and that is what has come out of all of the. I been trying to learn I bought a new program for like really high quality screen capture, and that's what I had done a couple of those. One of them I failed wonderfully. It was a wonderful failure. Oh my God. Because the audio, it was a new program, new settings, but I think I've got it now. So, it's really good. Now I have got, now, what is this? 8 more decks already built after 600. So I will probably do quite a bit of recording tomorrow. And that way we can get back on the train, because I'm I think I'm 100 decks in for Thank You Clock Podcast. It is awesome. And my goal was to build 200 this year. And quite frankly, I don't know that. I know through the course of this year they're going to put out way more than 100. The spreadsheet, I don't have it in front of me, but they're probably putting out 150, 200 this year. So I got to do 200 just to break even. So really, that's kind of why I thought about. I was like, well, I need to go in there and record a video and tell everybody and let them know. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do the live thing. I don't do the live thing enough anyway. So I guess anybody got any questions? I mean, while we're here, let's chat. Why not? Off tomorrow. So I'll be doing most of the recording tomorrow. Hold on, I gotta get real close because I'm old. Will we ever see any uncommanders being built? That's the thing. The reason why I have got up here on the shelf somewhere, that way top, I have got, what is it? I know I have Richard Garfield PhD built, and I think I have Urza built. I think those are the only. The difference is Richard Garfield is just all of the different mana symbols or mana cost. And I even have a little cheat sheet as to each mana cost in case somebody else is playing it and they don't have the knowledge, But the reason why I don't do those is because I am building every legal. And the ones are not legal. Yes, they're a ton of fun. I love to play them, and I love to play the stuff. But I have a very finite amount of cards. And if I use whatever for the undecks, then there have been times when I have had to go and, buy basic lands. Anything new coming down the pipe for your patron supporters. Well, Chris, you've been after me for merch, and I have found a place that does T-shirts, to where I don't, because I'm learning as I go here. So I was under the impression that I would have to get the shirts and print the shirts and ship the shirts. And I was like, I don't know how to do all that stuff. So, but there's a place that'll do all that for me. So I found that out. I think the guys over at EDH Rec they're the ones that use them. I'm pretty sure that's how I bought this shirt. So you asked me about merch. So that is a possibility. Actually, it's a probability. I'll probably go ahead and do that sometime soon. But as far as is shuffle and cut, is that the phrase? Is that the phrase? I have to have it on there. Is that a thing? Because the little logo is not much. I mean, when I designed that logo, it was black and white on purpose so that it would be easier to put on things. But I'm told that I have to have shuffle and cut on there somewhere. So what do you think? Yeah. So and the mouse click. Have a look. Can you hear the mouse click? See, I don't watch the show. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch it. I have watched I think I've got 800 videos out or something. I've only ever watched 2. So after I say shuffle and cut, you can hear the mouse clicking. That's wild. I didn't know that. That makes me want to go just fast forward to the end of a video, because the 2 that I watched was the very first one, way back, Attracts to Super Friends, the very first video I ever did. I actually recorded that one twice because at the time The click is prominent. Oh, wow. I guess that signals the end, huh? The very first video, I was super paranoid about doing it because I don't like the sound of my own voice on recording or whatnot. And I'm my face, image, whatever. So I recorded it and then I watched it. And I watched it with someone. And I was like, all right, help me proofread. And Bristow, yes, I do. I'll address that one in a second. So I watched that one, and I had dropped the F-bomb like 14 times in an 11-minute video, and that was the moment I was like, probably need to not do that. And it's a good thing because my grandson, he's like 7. Is he 8 now? I'm too old. A lot of times when I'll be at work or something like that, and he'll want to see Pawpaw, and my daughter will. He's at work, and so she'll just go to this channel and just here's Pawpaw, which is kind of awesome. He's got that ability because, but because of that. Children are like sponges. They pick up, and you never know when they're going to say what they've heard. So I don't want it being from me. What's up, James? Let's see. Let's get that last question. Do I have a deck on the wall that I don't enjoy playing? What's the first one that comes to mind? Because probably the first one that comes to my mind is the one that I'm not. The 2-drop deck. I think I've only played the 2-drop deck once. It last got played by Danny, a friend of mine who randomly rolled it from the wall, and it's not amazing. Deck number 500. Yeah, that is. Bristol, that's my answer. Deck number 500. Because, and I think it's kind of on purpose, because deck number 500 is meant to be miserable. It's meant to be miserable playing it. It's meant to be miserable playing against it. It is the most miserable cards I could pick out at the time. It's got stasis pieces and stacks pieces, and I'm running, Armageddon, Cyclonic Rift, just everything that's just, and it feels okay. Yeah. I have 2 cameras really, really close, and I wanted to see which one was actually doing the recording. So, yes, James, you would love it. You would love it. Go back, James, and look at deck number 500. It's Angus McKenzie. And the Bant colors, it's there's I played it one time at a very, I think I've played it. No, I played it one time. It was at a very small table. It was a 3-player game. And it did everything it was supposed to do. And once it did it, I just felt dirty. I'm like, ooh, I need to go shower because that was bad. Yeah. Back in the day, stasis decks were fun. That was before we had, 100 card formats, and when it was just one player. And let's see, will do. You just built Urza. See, Urza's a good one too. Urza can be mean. My favorite deck. See, that's a very subjective question. I never understood Morrow until I started the channel, and I get it now. My favorite deck is going to change. It's going to change from day to day, week to week. Now, there are some decks that I kind of gravitate more toward. I always say my favorite deck is the one I just built, whatever that may be. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, I do have some that I just, if I just want to sit down and have, I mean, I have favorites. Azusa. I love Azusa. What's that? That's all the way back deck number 9. I probably need to redo that, but I think I'll wait because there's a good chance we're going back to Zendikar. There's a good chance we're going to get enough to where I can upgrade her one last time. I need to get, what's that double mana Nissa, Who Shakes the World? I need to get one of those in there because it's all about forest. So double into forest. I think I've got all the other forest doublers in there. Favorite uncommon legendary creature, not just as a commander. Uncommon legendary, not just as a commander. Well, by and large, Tatiova is busted out the frame. Love that one. I can't believe it's uncommon. I mean, it blew my mind. Now, let's see. Chronicles actually made some uncommon. Now, that was, what are we talking, 95? God, what is my mind? I'm that old. My mind goes straight to Chronicles. Favorite uncommon legendary creature. Tatty was the first one that come to mind. She was, because, man, I mean, it's just so busted for, like, you know, a 6-cent card. Yes, I am part of the, let's see, Magic the Gathering EDH Commander group on Facebook. I think I am. I'm a member of one or two of them. I don't know, because there's several of them that are like worded really, really similar. I am. I have posted a couple pictures on there. I try not to because I don't want to hijack anybody's thread or anything. But occasionally somebody will show their commander decks and they'll say, show all your commander decks. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing this. And then somebody will tag me and they're like, Brian, you got to do this. And so I do the thing. And then I showed this and it's, yeah. Favorite common legendary. Now that has to be Chronicles, because Chronicles is the only set that has given us common legendary creatures. I'm building Zera Arian right now, but she's not it. Not Marhalt, El's Dragon, Saviti Sarzum. I have an actual all-pauper, all-common deck. The whole deck is, including the commander, which a lot of times, you know, it's acceptable to use an uncommon commander as that. But with that deck, I went straight commons. But I can't remember who the commander is of that deck. But I would have to say probably that one, because it led me, it actually, you know, mattered enough to me to build the deck out of it first, because it's one of, I think, the first block, one of the first 100. To which the running joke with me and the play group is that the first block is where all the good cards are, because they say, yeah, you run out of good cards halfway through. I need to get caught up. Steven, the only person I've seen with more decks than that. I will. I am on a mission to build them all. So, love your channel. Mind me drawing some fan art in about it. Sure, go right ahead, Ob. Oh, that's awesome. I love art. I love, you know, I'm just not a talented artistic kind of person. Just not. Now, I can build just about anything out of wood, but yeah, get somebody else to paint it. Y'all saw way back in the old videos that how this room used to be like tie-dye painted. Yeah, that's my level of skill at painting. What EDH staple have you been putting in your decks that you believe the rest of the community hasn't caught on to yet? See, this is a very big topic for me, and there's no quick way to answer it, but I'll tell you this. I don't like the word staple. I really don't. I get it. I get it. I mean, I do. Soul Ring's a very ubiquitous card. It can go in any deck. If you're playing white, you probably want a Smothering Tithe. I get it. But I don't like the idea of every deck that meets X qualification has to have this card. I mean, I don't. I have decks without Soul Ring. I have decks that don't need a Soul Ring. And I have decks that, I was just out of Soul Rings at the time. So, or things like that. But as far as card I use that, see, that's the problem. I don't think there are any cards I use that everybody else hadn't caught on to yet, because I literally show y'all every single deck. And I explain, why I chose the cards I do. And therefore, word gets out, I love Reconnaissance. I still love Reconnaissance. But over the past year and a half, Reconnaissance has gotten a lot of spotlight, outside of this channel. It's got a lot of spotlight, just out on other channels. I know EDH Rec has talked about it a couple times. I think Command Zone's talked about it a couple times. It's a great card, but now everybody knows about it. So, let's see. What is next? Shimmer Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Yeah. It is amazing. Let's see. The only two non-online common legendaries are Hoven and Chandler. That's right, Homelands. I could have swore that the reprints from Chronicles were also common. Favorite tribe. Definitely. As much as I don't want to say elves, I have a lot of elf decks. I mean, I have a lot of goblin decks too, or dragons or whatever, but just because. But green, I like to say that I was a green fan before it was cool. Because when I first started playing, green was the bad color. Okay, you can't play a green deck and expect to win, Brian. You just can't. Green is a good supporting color, but you just can't run a solid green deck and expect to win. You can't do anything. That's how it was in '94, And now there's nothing green can't do. It's finally getting love, right? Let's see. Can't wait for 600 will be out tomorrow. For all of y'all who are new since the beginning, I realized that was like 20 minutes ago. The deck number 600 will be out tomorrow. Actually, if y'all watched the mail day video this morning, you kind of get a sneak peek. If you pause it fast enough before I push the deck out of the way, you can see who deck number 600 is. So to recap, I will be recording and releasing the deck number 600 deck tech tomorrow. And then on Thursday, you will be able to see me play deck number 600 over on the RC's Twitch channel with Sheldon Meanery and other members of the rules committee. So that's a huge thing for me. I'm super pumped, super excited about it. I love it. It's kind of one of those things that you're like, how did I get here? I don't know. Yeah, staples are lands. Yeah. Jump is my underrated card. Now, I do love Jump. It's been a while since I told the Jump story. I'm sure y'all all seen it because I did a video on it. But it's I've won games with Jump. More importantly, I've lost games with jump. Could you tell us a wholesome story? I'm doing my final projects and I could use a sweet story. I have. Apparently, my friends and family tell me that I am somewhat of a storyteller. Seems like I always have a story for something. But now that I'm like put on the spot, let's see, what's the first? Good wholesome story. I have my second to youngest son, Dakota. This is way, way back. It's on the other side of this brick wall in the living room. The standing rule of the house is because all the kids, all of them, as they were growing up, they grew up around Magic. Magic. I started having kids in January of '93, and I started playing Magic the next year in '94. So, like, all of my kids have no memory of life before Magic. They just grew up in a house with Magic cards, and people coming over to play cards, and us going to game shops, and have a baby up on the hip, and they've all just grown up in the gaming community. Probably why they're so awesome. But the Dakota is the second to the youngest, and he was in the living room. We were playing cards. So the rule is, because they all wanted to learn to play cards with mom and dad. Everybody wants to play cards with, emulate what your parents are doing, and that's cool. But the rule is, you go to school, you learn to read, and you learn to do math. Well, it happened for him. Well, apparently it didn't happen for him out of the blue. It happened, I realized, out of the blue. So we're in the living room playing. It was an old round table. And he walks by and he looks at, I have a force of nature in play. And he is every bit of 7, maybe 8. And which it's funny that it was force of will, because that's a different wholesome story from another child 10 years before. It's weird, right? So, and he looks at it and he just out loud reads the card. Force of will, summon creature, trample. Hey, Daddy, what does trample do? And my eyes got so huge, and I looked and I said, it is time. And that was how he began to play. He's now 18, so he's you don't find many 18-year-olds who've been playing Magic for 11 years. You don't. So that was the first wholesome family / Magic story that popped in my head. I hope I didn't bore you, but there are several. Hold on, I gotta get caught up now. Looking forward to Commander Legends, or a bit intimidated by the flood of new commanders coming. See, that's the thing. I love the fact that we're finally getting essentially Commander Masters, because we've been calling every set Commander Masters for 5 years, but because we've all known that Commander is the big deal. It just took Wizards a little while, and granted, they're working 2 years in the future, so everything that come out this year, they had planned 2 years ago. Sure. But Commander Legends, their wording on it is really, really sketchy. I'm looking forward to it, don't get me wrong. But the exact wording that Gavin said was over 70 new legends. Now, they have since said that, I think they have said that Planeswalkers are next. Planeswalkers are legendary now, that's fine. So Planeswalkers are part of that new 70 legends. Are those Planeswalkers going to have the line of text, this can be your commander? Personally, I think it would be neat to have like that weird, a weird like sentient artifact that's not a creature. Just a legendary artifact or a legendary enchantment. This could be your commander. I realize this may be one of those things that once I get it, I don't want it anymore. And I'm like, this is a bad thing. Yeah, but it's something they haven't done, and they've obviously are not scared to push boundaries. So that is a thing. I am looking forward to it. The scary part is right now, my deck boxes are really hard to find. The supply chain is kind of sketchy with what's going on in the world, and a lot of these distributors are like operating at half capacity or quarter capacity or less than that. So, yeah, I have deck boxes for everything from Jumpstart backward. Well, I say everything. The current stuff. Ikoria, the Commander set, Ikoria, Jumpstart. But then after that, I've got 3 deck boxes left. So I have got to get out there and scour and find me some of that deck box because, I built this whole room based around that deck box. So that's a thing. They said the same thing about White. Yeah, White. Now, see, I don't think White is deficient in Commander. I think you just got to be willing to do what it takes. Let's see, and chose not to do that. What fun is that? I don't, Tony. I need help. I don't know what you're referencing, Tony. Wait, what? Really? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Tony. Austin refused to pay attention. So like to anticipate what comes out next. Currently working for. Now, I have done that. What Commander set was that? I think that was that 16 with Atraxa and Bray and all them. I know that year for Commander, I saw. It seemed like they released the face cards first, and I read the face cards, and then I shut down. I got off of social media. I didn't look at spoilers. I didn't want to see any new cards. I paid the local game store for a set of each, and he I would go in every week, and he's like, "Oh my God, have you seen the spoiler?" And I was like, "No, don't tell me about it. I don't want to know." And he finally looked at me and he said, "I got you figured out, Brian. I know why you don't want to know." Because you want it to be Christmas morning when you get that. And I was like, that's exactly right. How I got into Magic. That's a good story. I don't know that I've told that story. How I got into Magic, I was working. I've worked in grocery stores my whole life for about 30 years. And it was up in Missouri. And I would love to find the guy that taught me how to play. There's a good chance it was so long ago he probably doesn't still play. He was in college to be a doctor at the time, so I think he was pre-med, so there's a good chance he's been a doctor for a long time anyway. I was the new guy in town, and I was the new guy in the store. I moved up there because of that job, and everybody found out real quick that I was a Star Trek guy. A couple of the other guys I worked with, you work with them, you talk, and there was I'd asked if there was like a collectible shop or something, because I had been into baseball cards as a kid, and they were starting to print like Star Trek, the collectible cards and stuff. So one of the stalkers said, John up in the office, or I'm sorry, Don in the office, he knows where that stuff's at. So I go up there, and then he told me about this weirdest thing. He said, okay, you collect baseball cards. He said, but what if you could play a game with them? And I said, what? He said, you buy like, he asked me what some of the stuff I bought was, and it was like, Beauty and the Beast cards, because I had small kids at the time, and, Little Mermaid, 101 Dalmatians, stuff like that. He said, what if you could play a game with those cards? And I was like, that's a thing? And so he had a play group that he met with at the college. And he didn't want to exactly take me green into that play group, when I didn't know what I was doing. So we would meet after work at the Hardee's because they were open all night there. And he taught me how to play, brought a couple of his decks and taught me how. This was Ice Age wasn't even out yet. Chronicles wasn't even out. And so it would, by the way, used to, back then, there could be 9 months in between sets. It was a long time, and he taught me how to play. And I remember walking away from that like, yeah, okay. But then as, one day, 2 days go by and you start thinking about it and your mind starts going and you're like, what if and of course there wasn't that many cards back then, but it felt like there was because there was, hundreds of cards. So started playing, and I think my very first pack I ever bought was a Pack of the Dark because I walked in there and the same place and I said, let me get a pack of that dark magic there. That dark magic is what I said. And the store owner looked at me and kind of giggled and said, okay. I never understood why he giggled and said it that way until like years later. And I was like, he knew. Because once you buy the first pack, you're in. Let's see. Jane's daughter's 5 and asked me to teach her how to play. She now has a Unicorn Angel deck. Yes, the next generation. See, actually, you would be, since Jane. That would be the. Oh my God, I'm old, man. Since you are the next generation, that would be the next. I don't know, but Spencer hasn't. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Thanks for the stories. I've got stories I'm not short on. Soren as a true commander. See, I think stuff like that is what we're going to get in Commander Legends because I mean, Edgar was good, but like if you haven't listened to the latest EDH Ryan on there, could be cool. Depending on what he did, Got into secret lair drops. No. The only I own one secret lair card. I bought it off of TCG Player from a card shop. I'll be honest with you. The reason why I bought that particular version was because it was the cheapest version of that card. I don't remember what it was. It was one of the Goblin cards. Sharpshooter, maybe. The secret lair thing. I'm a huge proponent of the friendly local game store. I'm not against secret lair, but so far they haven't released anything that's I got to have that because they are. I mean, I have to be very deliberate with my magic dollars. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me to buy. Like right now, they got the oozes thing. It may already be closed or whatnot. Yeah, those are cool, and it would be great in Ooze Tribal, right? Because I have that legend that's in there. One of those 5 cards as my, Experiment Courage is my Tribal Ooze Commander. That'd be cool. But that's $30 that's taken away from deck boxes and sleeves and Zendikar Rising or Commander Masters. So that's kind of my reasoning. And I do like to support my friendly local game store. I do. And Secret Lair does not do that. It doesn't. They tried to do the thing with the fetches, but for the local game stores, but that didn't exactly pan out the way everybody wanted it to. So um, pausing the video, I chose not to pause the video. Part of the channel for me is a surprise. No, it's okay. But there's real quick. It's there. It's there. I didn't plan it or anything. I thought about when I moved the camera and it saw the deck. I was like, oh, I just need to scrap this and do it over. And I was like, no, we'll just move it. And then I didn't think about it till the end. I was like, there's a, and yes, the video, Sheldon, I'm floored. The video will be, it's on the Commander RC's Twitch page, Twitch channel. I'm sorry, I'm not a Twitcher, so I don't do that a lot. They play every Thursday. I don't think I think my slot's in the second game, if I'm not mistaken. And we will be there, or I'll be there with them. It's on their channel, so that is where it will be. When I get, let's see, tomorrow, I will get the actual URL of his channel and post it with the video tomorrow, as I do the number 600 deck tech. So yeah, that is a big deal. It is awesome to be just there's a thing, and we're all human, and imposter syndrome is a real thing. Now, I'm doing something completely weird and different because of just what I'm doing. I'm building every single deck and pretty much documenting it for posterity when I show you every card and explain my card choices and whatnot. I would be doing that anyway, just because I kind of want to document, it's I've never been a Pokemon fan, but the gotta catch them all thing, so, but it absolutely floors me that all y'all folks enjoy this and watch, and it means a lot to me, and I thank all y'all for watching. And it's when Sheldon asked me to play, and I was like, yes. I'm glad it was in text form, because I couldn't have spoke at the time. Yeah, it's big. It's big. Let's see. Similar stories, me, baseball cards. Yeah. Did I lose connection? Oh, yeah. Yes, I am a giant raccoon. I do love the shiny things. But, they're doing a lot of those secret layers that are not foil. And I don't know. It seems like to me, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you should get foils. But there again, they have had issues with foils curdling in the past. But you know what? I saw Chris T in the chat there. He lives close enough. We meet up and play. He's actually played here in this room quite a bit. And my buddy Danny has bought Double Masters, the VIP packs, and those were perfectly flat. I haven't seen any of those curl. Now, granted, for that price, they shouldn't. But I haven't seen a curled Double Masters card. And maybe it's just me. I'm also a firm believer in, if you're going to purchase those items like the Commander sets or back when From the Vault existed, get it on release, because the longer they sit in that box and absorb humidity. Now, I'm down here in Tennessee. Humidity, you go outside and cut the air. We have that. It's humid all the time. And with that, I've seen in boxes, sealed in boxes, just curled up from the vault. It look like hot dog buns. But my mileage varies from that because I'll get them day of release where they haven't, had time to soak up all the humidity from 2 years, 5 years, whatever. And I will perfect fit them every time, or I'm sorry, pro fit them. Same thing. But that tight sleeve inside that other sleeve, I know it's not a thing but it does stop a lot of that bend. It does. Hey, Gabriel. Recommend a non-Mimeoplasm, non-Umori ooze tribal commander, please. Well, my ooze commander is Experiment Crash. And it works pretty good because a lot of the oozes deal with counters. And of course, it's Experiment Crash, so there's some random stuff you can oops into a combo. It doesn't really happen when you go like really deep into oozes. There are some red oozes, but no problem, James. Anytime. Got a deck in mind that you're going to play for the Twitch show? Yes, I do have I'm going to play deck number 600 for the Twitch show with Sheldon. That's kind of the because I don't know. I don't know if anybody will be playing that. It's a new commander. It's come out in the past year. 6 months. It's definitely a product of the year of Commander. I know I've been teasing about this thing for weeks now. I get it. I'm sorry. We'll all find out tomorrow, and then I'll put that link to their Twitch channel in the show notes of the video. No, I'm not going to roll for this one. Although I can foresee. I mean, it works out great having 4 people on a screen. I can get each one of my 3 opponents to roll a dice, and because now, once 600 gets up on the wall, I'm thinking once 600 gets up there, I will have 600. So we can do roll a die, roll a 6-sided die, because when I roll dice, I've been ignoring any of the partially filled blocks. But now that block will be filled, and I can roll a 6-sider and 2 10s. So how I've been doing it is just rolling them. Oh, look, I'm playing 431 or whatever, instead of having to go by the column and then by the deck. Since you bring up the curling, any tips on how to uncurl? Full Lorwyn lens. Oh, that was a while back. To be honest with you, they will bend a little bit in the opposite direction. Do I have a curled foil anywhere? No. Because also just being, in that sleeve, or in 2 sleeves and a deck box crammed in there and it's tight. As far as I have literally just, hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, this is not really bad. It's a full merit Lage token, but it's got a little bit. You can see it's not. I mean, a lot of them are legit. Just it looks like I have 4 eyes. I got to stop that. But they're pretty resilient to and to flatten back out. But as soon as you do that, you need to get it in something. The Pro Fit and the Deck Protector work well for me. Now there's a problem with The difference in this and your Lorwyn lands is well, no, not really, because this is the actual cold snap version. Let's see if we can't get it. Yeah. So, but this has probably been in that sleeve since then. Well, no, because a buddy of mine told me about the inner sleeves around 2008, 2009. So that's as far as to get it uncurled, yeah, you don't want to manhandle your cards like that. I get it, but you can actually get them. I mean, because I've gotten some in trades and whatnot when I bought collections that have been curled. So a good way, not sure. That's how I've been doing it, to get the raw card flat and then double sleeve it to wear and put it in a deck in a box. But even still, a lot of times once it's got that curl, it's just going to have that curl. It's just absorbed that humidity from the atmosphere. So to permanently uncurl a card, you got me. I'm not sure that that's a thing. Could just get a whole deck of curled fulls, and that way you could have, roll a D6, then roll a D100. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. Percentage dice and size dice, yeah. Favorite set, and do I own a Tabernacle? No, I do not own a Tabernacle. That card is what I call too expensive to own. For the price of a Tabernacle, I could buy every Portal 3 Kingdoms legend I need. And then some. Favorite set. No, that's a mechanic. I have a favorite mechanic. Favorite set. Now, we all loved Ice Age at the time. We did not realize Ice Age was bad. We were just taking to get new cards, and it was 300, and but living through it and purchasing Ice Age and Standard or Type 2 at the time was that was wild. Favorite set. Gotta look at the set binders. The past couple of years have been good. I mean, they've been okay. War of the Spark was good. For me, I did like the Egyptian theme, but it was all Amonkhet didn't really. Besides the Egyptian artwork, it just didn't do it for me. The big fan of Zendikar. Yes. Planar Chaos. With Planar Chaos, there's a future side. It's Planar Chaos. Planar Chaos is probably my favorite set, because it is literally full of cards that should not exist. Because that's when they took the color wheel and just spun it. It's like, green has card draw, black has counterspell. Let's do the thing, I love it because it's so radically different. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Rocket, the meanest deck I've ever built was deck number 500. It's Angus McKenzie. I actually had every card in there was miserable, and it was on purpose. That was a very emotional deck for me. It was on purpose. It was very on purpose. There was I don't know. I was going through the thing, and that's how it translated out into Magic decks. The silica gel packets, I have heard that as well. Don't know. New Phyrexia. Now, I am excited to go back to New Phyrexia. Although storyline-wise, Man, I thought Karn was smarter than that, man. Urza detonated the Golgothian Silex to end the Brothers' War. Yeah, and that worked out so well for him. So Karn's like, I'm going to get the Silex. So we saw him get the Silex in the set Dominaria and go home. So he's going to blast the Silex on New Phyrexia because, it's got a 100% effectiveness rate of killing Phyrexians. But it also does other things. It brought about the Ice Age. It sunk a continent. That's why green now inherently hates artifacts. Is because, it's a whole thing. You thought Karn would have been smarter. I expected more out of my boy. The Rules Committee game. Congrats. Well, thank you. Often, yes. Trust me, I know how it is doing the working thing. I have tomorrow will be my first day off in a while. Worked a little bit on Sunday. Hardest commander to build for me. I'm not going to lie. It's probably going to be some of these that are over here that I have been like. Some of these have been in deck boxes that I've been working on for years, 3 or 4 years. There is Edric Spymaster of Tress. That is one of the decks I've put a weird restriction on. It's rings because he's wearing rings, and I didn't want to do the same old thing with Edric that everybody's doing. So it's blue-green, got to have rings. Therefore, I'm at the mercy. Axelrod Gunnarsson is the song title guy because he looks like he's playing the air guitar. So I don't. Those are difficult from a standpoint of, not every set's going to have cards for them, or if it does, it'll have one. But as far as a difficult, I wanted to go with the mono red captain. Was it Langley Storm, I think? Pirate. I wanted to go like, pirate and treasure tribal. But there's just not enough to make that, or there wasn't enough at the time. And that's why that one's still sitting in an incomplete box over here in my to be finished list. I've got probably, I keep looking over here. I can show you. These here are my, that's decks I have started that I have not finished. Kai the Vast, Zero Adrian. Heck, there's a partner pair. King Makar. That's one that I have yet. Croesus, Marin, Shire. I know Chris has been asking me to build Shire for a while. I need to. Timoret, Bells and Lock, King Makar, Ilhard. But the hardest. I'm excited about Urtai the Corrupted there. That's got a cool theme too. The hardest is probably that Captain Landry Storm. Just because we'd get one color and we hadn't got many red pirates. So it's kind of a thing. It's really, really hard to do. Adamaro's not easy either because Adamaro is the red legend from Kamigawa that gets bigger by your opponent drawing cards. And that's what we want to do, right? Red already has card deficiency problems. So now we just want to have our opponents draw more cards. Ever play the Plane Chase cards? Yes. I love Plane Chase. We've done Kingdoms. Are you familiar with Kingdoms? Anybody? Kingdoms, and we've done Plane Chase. We've done Plane Chase Kingdoms. The biggest, weirdest game that I've ever played here was years ago when my shop was open. Or was it before, after, during? Somewhere around that time, around 10 years ago. We played a Commander game. Arch Enemy had just came out. Where we played, there was 8 of us. We played Commander Two-Headed Giant Plane Chase Archenemy. And so it was 3 versus 1, like in a normal archenemy game, but the 3 were all 2-player pairs, and the 1 was a 2-player pair. So we had the I wasn't the archenemy. I think I was on the coalition team or whatever they're called. The 2 archenemies, we were all playing Commander, and we were playing on the plane chase with them having the scheme deck. The only thing at the time that existed that we were missing was Vanguard, and I don't have a Vanguard set. I have like 1 Vanguard card left because they got stupidly expensive, and I was able to flip those into real Magic cards. So that's what I did with those. But yeah, Vanguard would have completed the whole thing because that would have been all of the big card supplemental, alter the rules kind of thing. Yeah, it was a wild, wild game. Obviously, it was 10 years ago, and I still think about it. So, would you be open to playing against your viewers and have a series of those videos on your show? Absolutely. On Saturdays, I say on Saturdays, I try. There are times when work interferes. There are times when me being an old man falling asleep at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, interferes. But I try to every Saturday play games with the patrons on Saturday night. It seems to be a good time. We play webcam EDH. What were we using, Chris, before Spell Table? I can't remember. Don't remember. Spell Table is the stuff. That's what. It's a website made by Commander players for Commander. It's for just that purpose. So, yeah, I would love to. Dog Tribal does need more cards, but I think we're going to get them because, like all of the new tribes, every now and then we get a tribe, or a tribe will rise up in popularity, or Minotaurs have been a thing forever, but we went to certain planes and they're like, hey, we're in Theros. Minotaurs are a thing here, and we just got a ton of new Minotaur cards. Now, the Minotaurs are obviously ahead of dogs and how much support they've got, just because dog is a new tribe. There was a few hounds before, but the hounds never got any kind of tribal love, because that wasn't the thing Wizards knew people wanted. I guess I will tribe up anything. I will try. If there's 8 of some, I will find a way to make a tribal deck out of it. I love tribal. It doesn't just have to be tribal creature type. I was kind of expecting more tribal to fairy stuff in the Core 21. We got a whole bunch of Chandras in the last year, but it didn't translate to an uncommon, rare, and mythic to fairy. Anyway, yeah. Sometimes it's hard to get a commander to work. Like, I want to make the OG Elder Dragons, but yeah, the original Elder Dragon Legends are super expensive. They're all 8 mana, and they got to have that upkeep, and they're not, by today's standards, they're not terribly awesome, right? They're not. I think I've actually gone through all the original 5 by now, but there are some that you just look at and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this deck. I know I'm going to build it, but I don't know what I'm going to do. And a lot of times those will sit in the unused general binder. I'm still using the word general as opposed to commander, but I've got the binder of what I call my to-do list. It's legends I've got that I haven't built yet, but I've got the actual cards. So I think I've shown that video or that binder in last year before in one of the videos. I can get it out sometime if that's a thing, but it's pretty much the same. I've been just treading water this year, just trying to build what they put out. Because see, last year, it's my own fault though. It's my own fault because last year I think I made the claim in one of the videos. I said I can build them faster than you can print them. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Now, Griffin Tribal is probably one of my favorites. I love Zuberi. Griffin Tribal is a thing that doesn't get a lot of love. Like every once in a while, we'll get a Griffin. I think the very best Griffin, it was out of a Planeswalker deck. It's just a 2-mana 2/2 flyer, and it's sad that that's the best Griffin because they like start at 4 mana. But I love it. I love Zuberi. It held my favorite spot for a while. Love Zuberi. Nobody does Griffins, I think it might be time for me to update that. Let's see. Tribal X cost. I have done Tribal X cost. Roshin Meander, the crazy X. Because she taps, she's 4 for 4/4 that taps for 4 mana that you can only use to spend on X spells. So she's the crazy X. Red, green, X spells, tribal X spells, anything that's X. Now, granted, Roshin I built so long ago, she's probably another one that needs. There's a lot of these just need to be updated, but it's the whole time factor because, a set like Ikoria or 21 comes out, and you're like, this would be great for these 15 decks, because I see the cards and it works into the mind, and I'm like, all right, here. But I just don't have the time with building new decks and going back. And so here's my plan. Got a plan to address that. Yeah. I will get finished. At some point, I will finish the quest. I will have every commander deck built. Now, granted, it may be for a short period of time. It may be until the next set comes out and they have, 10, 12, 20 more or whatever. But there will be a time when I will be caught up and I will be done. And then we can go back in between the new releases, because I'll obviously say I'm done at 944 decks. I'm done. And then, it's 2 months till the next set comes out. Well, I've got 2 months to update existing decks. And then when the new set comes out, I can show you all those and build those decks. So that's the plan, is, doing a run through first and then coming back. And because that way, years will have passed for some of these. Years have already passed. Like it's been from Zuberi, that's been almost 4 years ago that I built that deck and did that video. I've added a few cards here and there as Griffins have come out, but typically how that works is when I get the deck down to play it, and I'll play it, and then, oh, hey, didn't that, and I'll swap out 1 or 2 cards there. The un-X. Oh, yeah. I went off on a random tangent on X. Ever worried you're going to go broke building all these decks? My wife would get worried like crazy. Well, I am now a single man. But the beauty that I find in this game, so Don taught me how to play one-on-one, and once I had the basics of the game, tapping, untapping, attacking, blocking, things like that, he took me to the college to introduce me to his play group. And that's where I say I learned how to play, because you can know the rules and know how to do the cards, attack and block and cast. but learning how to play and strategizing and planning turns ahead and being able to use the right answer to the right problem. Those are things that are learned over time. And that's where I say I learned how to play. And I learned how to play in a multiplayer environment, in 94, 95. That's how I learned. I mean, I came up in a multiplayer environment. And I remember us thinking when tournaments started up, we were like, why would you just want to sit down and with one other player and just kill them as fast as you can? It's not so. Even without the commander philosophy existing, I learned how to play pretty much with the commander philosophy in mind. So I feel like I got way off on a tangent. Oh, yeah. To go building the decks. And the beautiful part is everything is so, and when I say balanced, it's not, I'm not talking about, Oko's not balanced or whatever, but, a 15-cent disenchant gets rid of, $1,000 artifacts. My Stone Rain will take out your Gaze Cradle all day long, whatever, pillage, whatever you happen to have. There is no, yes, there's a certain, and I love to find those unused cards. And trust me, that's a collection. There's a binder per every set, major set. And there's a bunch of cards in there that ain't, obviously, if they're in the binders, they're not in decks. But every one of them have a purpose. And I believe every single card can be a game-winning card in the right scenario in the right deck. I have won games with some weird cards. I have won games by Fertilid. Literally I mean, just random things, because our format is a 100-card format, but it's not. It's a 400-card format most of the time. We've got 4 decks down at the table that are doing radically different things. And, I love seeing that weird card from, Plane Shift that nobody's ever run in the deck, because that's the jam right there. And there's a bunch of cards there. And yeah, new stuff comes out. I'm going to get the new stuff, because at the heart of it all, at the end of the day, I'm still a Magic player, and I love to play this game. I love to play Commander. That's kind of my thing. I'll draft. I like to draft because, I'm drafting for Commander cards. Or I love pre-releases. That's my absolute favorite format doesn't exist anymore. My favorite format that there's ever been has been a blind pre-release. Back a long time ago, we didn't get spoilers. We got spoilers, not previews. Every once in a while, a card would leak out, or a whole list, or whatever. But more times than not, you went to the pre-release completely blind. You just knew a set name. Or like if it was part of a block and you knew, we've been playing with Invasion for a while, and now this is the next set called Plane Chase. I'm guessing it's more cards like the Invasion cards. That's all we had. And the blind pre-release it's like opening up Christmas at that pre-release. You used to have to drive, each state would have one, and you'd have to drive for hours, and there'd be a room of 500 people. Wow. In today's 2020, that sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it? Being in a room of 500 people, close quote. That was in the before times. That's how I'm referring to everything that happened before 2020 is the before times. Well, Rocket, here's the thing. And I know that about videos not getting a lot of views. I accepted that right up front and here's why. Number one, this is a Commander channel, and that's all I do. Yeah, some openings and stuff, but mainly what I do is just commander decks, and I build the commander decks. Well, there's a lot of commander players, okay? But like, I'm gonna pick on my buddy Jimmy. I know he don't watch anyway, but we're gonna pick on him. Jimmy is a band player. He does not like to play the colors black or red. They just don't appeal to him. It's not his thing. Cool. There's a lot of players like that. So I know if I do a video that's black or red, it has either one of those colors in there, he's just not going to watch it because it's not his thing. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people that don't care for green or white or blue, whatever it is, or if it's tribal wizards, they're just like, nope, not for me. And I get that. Not every commander appeals to every commander player. And, you know, I watch a lot of YouTube content, and I subscribe to quite a bit of it. But there's even the people that I subscribe to, I don't watch every one of their videos because sometimes they cover a topic that's just not for me. And I get it, you know. It happens. It's the specificity of it. I said that word wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. It's how narrow the niche is. You know, it's a specific subset of a specific subset of gamer. You know, it's not just a Magic channel, the Commander channel, and you got to be looking for, you know, a Kahira deck or a Johan deck or whatever it is. Now, game nights, that's a big deal too. I don't. The problem with game nights now is it's a great show and I love it. I don't get to watch it as much as I want to, but we have, you know, 2020 problems. Because I'm in the middle of the U.S. and they are not, so that would be, you know, flying and vacation time that I don't have. You know, and I still got family to take care of and bills and decks to build, and so yeah, that would be awesome. I love all of Jimmy and Josh's work. It's good stuff. Yamji combo for you. Just watched your video last week. Yamji, Deathrender, Ashnod's Altar. Yes. Let me tell you about Ashnod's Altar. Last week, and I don't think this has ever happened to me before. So I posted that on Twitter. I was like, I cannot believe at that exact moment, two of my opponents had an Ashnod's Altar and a Grave Pact out. Both of them did. And here I am trying to play creatures. I was just like, well, okay. What was I playing? It seemed like I was playing a tribal something, or no, I had a commander win. SRAM. That was the thing. R's and equipments and Voltroning up one creature and sending them in and making them unblockable and whatever. It doesn't matter. They're just like, I'm going to sack this to get 2 mana to blow, and you got to sack a dude. And I'm like, oh. Yeah. SRAM didn't win that game. But actually, I think neither one of those decks did win either. I want to say that the red deck put out a Chancellor of the Forge and got 20-something Goblin tokens, and Impact Tremors killed us all. Well, I say killed us all. I was already dead by that time. I was outside. You know, I died, and I was like, y'all sort this out. I'll be back for the next game. Yeah. R.I.P. Voltron. Well, I have been on here for about an hour and 20 minutes, just rambling. for those that have just came, I will recap once again before I stop because I still got to go eat supper because, I just sat down and I was like, yeah, let's do this. Deck number 600 will be coming out tomorrow. Still got to record it. I'll record it and I will release it tomorrow. Inside the show notes, there will be a link to the Commander Rules Committee Twitch page. I will be playing that deck tomorrow on their stream, on their Twitch channel. Sheldon invited me to play, and that's an awesome honor, and I'm not worthy, but I'm going to play 600, and see, my mind went to try to make a joke and about the deck, and I can't. Because I'm apparently slow, and it's rough. So either way, there was a joke in there somewhere. You just got to decipher it when you see the deck tomorrow. Yeah, it's a rough joke. Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I kind of like the live thing. It does seem like it's just Brian rambling, which, to be honest with you, that's what I feel like I do every time I flip this camera on. So if streaming, live streaming like this is a thing, I'll do it more. Yeah, because it's fun. I like it. Ever been to the vintage stock in Fayetteville? No, I have not. I'm assuming that is in the U.S. What state is that in? Fayetteville sounds familiar, but there again, I have grown up. We moved a bunch all over this part of the U.S., so Fayetteville does sound familiar. What time is the game? The time, I'm not sure because I'm in game 2 tomorrow. So it kind of depends on how long game 1 lasts. I don't know. There again, this is brand new uncharted territory for me. So I will, if y'all follow me on Twitter, I am a huge Twitter guy. I don't use the Facebook. I call it the Book of Faces to make it sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't use the Facebook that much. I do use a bunch. Use Twitter on the daily a lot. I will tweet out the I guess that would be a good time for my Twitter handle. It is cure_game, because apparently when you type in cure for the common game and hit go and don't pay attention, it just shortens it and puts an underscore in there. So it's cure_game. That's my Twitter handle. You can search for Brian Canada too. I think that works. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff on Twitter. I have started actually. Here's where let's see, who we got 17 in the room. This is where everybody's going to drop out. I've started doing a lot of stuff on TikTok. I am probably the most random person in the world. It's hard. I know it's hard to build a brand on TikTok that way, but I'm not really trying to build a brand on TikTok. I'm having fun. I do a lot of like one card analysis, or a 2-card combo, or just a lot of magic related stuff. But I do a whole lot of other non-magic related stuff too. That's just random stuff that I think will be funny. The weird dances, whatever, so, Arkansas. No, I am in Tennessee, but Arkansas ain't that far away. I actually came back through Arkansas. Funny story. The company that I just used to work for, I got the company I work for, or worked past tense for, just sold. So, they don't exist anymore. But We had a yearly golf outing that it was mandatory. I'm not a golfer. And it was very, very far away. So on the way back every year, I would take a different trip and stop by as many game shops as I could. And I come back through, I would take the long way around just to hit as many game shops, because, Daddy needs solar rings. Or just to see what's out there, and I actually got recognized in one. That was wild. I never would have thought that in a million years that I would get. I mean, I guess it's a game shop, so the odds go up. But yeah, that was an experience for me. I'd never had that happen before, and it was in Arkansas. Was it just outside of West Memphis? I can't remember what town I was in. I know I stopped by a Stuckey's and got a pecan log because I haven't seen a Stuckey's or eaten a Stuckey's pecan log in years. Here again, I'm old. But yeah. Anyway, I do appreciate y'all. I'm gonna sign off now and go in here and. Well, honestly, I'm probably gonna eat some pizza because it's amazing stuff. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me, and y'all be sure to look for the video tomorrow, and maybe we'll see you on Thursday. Y'all have a good night.